That's 80 years ago, isn't it? Long time.
June 6th, D-Day. The great plan is put to the test.
You know something's going to happen, but you don't know when. And that's when they have the countdown. You know it's coming. But
the time had come for the final rehearsal.
Thank you, God. As simple as that. You know, when you consider the the amount of personnel, I don't know, somebody was looking after me, and let's just sailed gently through it all, and yes, I did enjoy it, truthfully.
The men who climb onto the beaches of the continent and fall upon the entrenched enemy are rehearsed, practiced and trained to the last detail.
You didn't think about being scared because you was involved with it.
And then when you do start to, it goes very quiet. When you hear the drone of the plane, you all go quiet. You can hear a pin drop.
Inside Nazi-occupied Europe, the enemy waits grimly for the day of invasion, as across the English Channel, Allied forces plan the great offensive that is sure to come.
Some of them never made it. Well, I mean, the things there that I'll never leave me. I'll always remember.
June 6, 1944. The Allied invasion fleet gathered off the coast of France.
These men who have come from so many countries and speak so many tongues gathered together in Great Britain to form this vast Allied army and trained alongside their British comrades from the hills and woods of Devon to the highlands of Scotland. These men have learned how to make a bed the army way, how to clean a rifle, how to read a map and fire a mortar, how to drive a tank or a mule. Some of these men had fought the German in Africa, and some of them had left their friends in graves at Alamein, Kesserin, Mereth, and outside Bizerta. And now they learn how to crack the wall of German Europe.
The day before D-Day is when we couldn't sail on the 5th, which everybody knows now. But we were already in our anchorage outside in the channel, and we stayed overnight for another day, and then we set off. Must have been on the 6th, around about midnight, and sailed to France. And there was that many ships, like you thought, well, what's going to happen? And you had to see it to believe it. I saw a picture of it again yesterday, and it's unbelievable. So the thought was, we knew we were going to, well, somewhere down there, France or whatever, but we thought nothing can happen to us. There's too many of us. You got to be prepared for what's coming, and you don't know. And when you're young, I'm not saying you don't worry, but you just, what's going to happen today, so to speak. So they say you're frightened. You're not frightened, you're just curious.
At dawn, troop-laden assault boats moved toward the Normandy beaches. The invasion of Europe was underway.
I can remember somebody saying there's no way we can get near enough to the beach to land because of the conglomeration, if that's the right word, of broken down vehicles and shell holes and mines and barbed wire and all the rest of it. And at that time there was a lot of gunfire, a lot of fire from ships in the harbour, shelling beyond the beach to clear the way for the troops that were to follow, make it much easier for the assault.
Even up the Normandy coast, I was on a frigate, Rowley, and the battles that was by, I suffered up all the Normandy coast, shelling. And see when they fired that, see those above your head, it was like an express train. Oh, the noise of the shells passing overhead. Our captain, he says, and we see a torpedo going to you. The battleship that was by, we'll nip in and take a torpedo. Oh, that's the truth.
My job
was to go round and stop any U-boats coming out from Brest to attack the invasion force going across to France. So I think we succeeded in doing it.
When I got off the boat, down the rope ladders, it was very frightening because the boat was moving, the barge was moving, and it was something that was very, very frightening. But when I landed on the beach, things calmed down. You was doing what you were supposed to do. That took all your time. You never thought about yourself. You were thinking of what you had to do to get off that beach.
You didn't realise how big an operation it was. See, the troop ships that was there, oh, well, I mean, hundreds of thousands of men going ashore. And they went from the sea onto the beach and saw them disembarking from the landing craft onto the beach. Some of them never made it.
On a landing craft tank, and we were the second vehicle off. The first vehicle was a 3-tonner, and it was loaded with either ammunition or supplies or food. And he was first off, and we put the ramp down, or the captain put the ramp down of the landing craft, and he drove off. And he drove off about the length of his vehicle from here to that door, maybe, not much more. And then the whole front of the cab disappeared into a shell hole at 45-degree angle. What happened to the driver and his mate, I don't know, or the contents of the truck, or the 3-tonner. But they hastily put the ramp back up, moved back out to sea, moved along a little bit, and then tried again. And we were the next vehicle off, my little van. And I said to my driver, hold your breath. And we went off down the ramp in 6 inches of water and up the beach.
It wasn't scary at all. I didn't feel frightened. It was just like, more like a big adventure.
Following days from D-Day were travelling, if you like, field by field, which was how long it took to get to Caen. Was something like 30-something days, 22 miles, probably going one field at a time, one field a day, but generally speaking it was like field by field, living in hedgerows, trying to dodge the German fighter planes which were coming over on a daily basis, and either sleeping under the van, in the van, or in a field trench, if you like. Sometimes we actually dug a trench if it was soft ground, and we were actually sat on this bunker that I've described one night, and it was a moonlit night, and the moon was out, and we heard this sound of aeroplanes. And it was 400 or 500 bombers, British Lancasters, flying over to bomb Caen, which was our objective, out of existence, because there's no way we could have got Caen easily without that. So actually, the bomber raid on Caen was the forerunner, if you like, to getting from where we were into Caen and beyond. Without that, I think it would have taken obviously much longer. Yeah. But when we got to Caen, of course, it was just rubble, apart from the cathedral, which is the only building that was left standing. So there was something that, and we saw planes being shot out of the sky on this raid, with parachutists coming down in their parachutes, and on this moonlit night, as clear as a bell, we could see it as I can see it now. So that was something to behold.
I got captured on the 8th of July after a battle we had. We went out on night patrol. We were supposed to be doing a blow-up of a self-propelled gun in no man's land, but in fact it was behind their lines, so they let us through, and then very unfriendly they sealed it and wouldn't let us back.
so we had a battle. We had 30 went out on our patrol, our platoon. 16, including my brother, who was a corporal, got back. 5 of us got captured, and then presumably 9 got killed.
Are you proud of the work that you did during the time?
Oh yes, certainly. Yes, yeah, no doubt about it. I'm very pleased I'm still alive to tell it.
I think all school children should be told about the war in Europe, the Normandy campaign as part of their curriculum if necessary. And I think it should be in kiddies' minds to grow up just like all of us around here and remember the days when so many people did lose their lives and for the sake of freedom, if you like.
In England, in Holland, and talk to the kids and try to instill them what war is all about, and peace, and the significance of the poppy, because I'm a great believer in that. And even though it upsets me, I'll always do it, you know.
You know, I was lucky. I was lucky. There's no doubt about it, I was lucky. Lucky I wasn't killed. I had to bury 2 mates of mine, which, you know, awful, awful. And it's only when you go to Normandy, amongst all those crosses, if you don't cry, there's something wrong with you. A tear will come to... When I go to Normandy, I'll guarantee to you, I will shed a tear. Can't help it, I'm sorry. I'm a grown man crying, and I don't know how to describe it.
Freedom was fought for in one way, because I didn't realise at the time, I didn't go around saying I'm fighting for freedom. It's only in later years when I've sat down and realised all the years of freedom I've enjoyed, and I've enjoyed a lot, and it wouldn't have been here if we hadn't have fought during that period. I hate to think what would have happened if we were German. No, but it wasn't to be, and we lost that many young fellas. Most of them were young. That's the trouble.
I must say, I've never kicked a football in my life. I have ridden on an open deck bus, but the word hero is wrong. My heroes are all those that went to Normandy, and their gravestones are there now. And I hate the word hero being used when they're not so. Everybody done their duty. And to go back there and to pay my respects to all my shipmates who lay with those white gravestones above them. And I even found where my cousin was. He was in what they called the Red Berets. He had to crash land just before midnight on the 5th of June to destroy the 2 big guns that were guarding the beaches out the turpits that were overlooking the beaches where we were landing. And he had to crash land in a glider. He was a real hero, and there was no question about it at all. They managed to destroy the guns, but it only lasted 6 days. And last time when I was over in Normandy, the wonderful people that I was with actually found his grave 31 miles away, and I really thank them for that.
Well, I mean, the things there I'll never leave me. I'll always remember.